Lamentations 4. This is another acrostic poem where each verse has a letter, it starts with a succeeding letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Again, you don't see this in English at all, but you do see it in Hebrew. How the gold has lost its luster, the fine gold has become dull. The sacred gems are scattered at the head of every street. Is that referring to the gems on the turban that the high priest wore? I'm not sure exactly. Something sacred, some sort of sacred gems, probably. You know, the high priest did wear this elaborate robe and turban and ephod and all that with the breastplate and all these gems and jewels on it that represented the tribes of Israel, so they could be referring to that. How the precious sons of Zion, once worth their weight in gold, are now considered as pots of clay, the work of a potter's hands. There's more of a tie-in to Jeremiah's imagery, assuming this is Jeremiah's book. Even jackals offer their breasts to nurse their young. But my people have become heartless like ostriches in the desert. Because of thirst, the infant's tongue sticks to the roof of its mouth. The children beg for bread, but no one gives it to them. We read about that in chapter 2. So we can see now we're going down the other side of the pyramid. We started in chapter 1 and worked our way up to the climax in chapter 3. Now we're going down the other side. So the content in chapter 4 and chapter 2 are linked, and the content in chapter 1 and chapter 5 are linked. Those who once ate delicacies are destitute in the streets. Those nurtured in purple, those would be the rich people, the royalty, now lie on ash heaps. The punishment of my people is greater than that of Sodom, which was overthrown in a moment without a hand turned to help her. Is it better to be destroyed by a shower of fire and brimstone and be gone in a day? Or is it better to have a prolonged period of suffering over the course of a couple of years? Their princes were brighter than snow and whiter than milk, their bodies more ruddy than rubies, their appearances like sapphires. And now they are blacker than soot. They are not recognized in the streets. Their skin has shriveled on their bones. It has become as dry as a stick. Those killed by the sword are better off than those who die of famine. Racked with hunger, they waste away for lack of food from the field. Better to get the sword in your belly or across your neck and be done in an instant than to just waste away over the course of time. You can last a long time in a condition like that. That would be very unpleasant. Very unpleasant. With their own hands, compassionate women, so these are not evil women, these are compassionate women, have cooked their own children, who became their food when my people were destroyed. The Lord has given full vent to his wrath. He has poured out his fierce anger. He kindled a fire in Zion that consumed her foundations. The kings of the earth did not believe, nor did any of the world's people, that enemies and foes could enter the gates of Jerusalem. Jerusalem was a hard city to conquer. It did suffer conquest a few times. The Jews themselves, the Hebrews, themselves had to conquer the city from the Jebusites who were there before they were. But that didn't happen until the time of David. You know, they were in the land for like 400 years before they finally got Jerusalem. And then when they did get Jerusalem, it fell twice, basically. It fell here to the Babylonians, and it would fall a few hundred years from now in the year 70 AD to the Romans. And it was not easy either time. It was a tough city to take. Both the Babylonians and the Romans, they did eventually get the city, but it wasn't easy in either case. It was not an easy city to conquer. It could be done, but it was not easy. But it happened because of the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests, who shed within her the blood of the righteous. Now they grope through the streets like men who are blind. They are so defiled with blood that no one dares to touch their garments. Go away! You are unclean, men say to them. Away! Away! Don't touch us! When they flee and wander about, people among the nations say, they can stay here no longer. We don't want you. No Jews here. We don't want you here. That's basically what would happen to them throughout their history. The Lord himself has scattered them. He no longer watches over them. The priests are shown no honor, the elders no favor. Moreover, our eyes failed, looking in vain for help. From our towers we watched for a nation that could not save us. That'd be Egypt, of course. They were counting on Egypt. They shouldn't have counted on Egypt, but they were counting on Egypt, and Egypt couldn't be counted on. Men stalked us at every step, so we could not walk on our streets. Our end was near, our days were numbered, for our end had come. Our pursuers were swifter than eagles in the sky. They chased us over the mountains and lay in wait for us in the desert. The Lord's anointed, our very life breath, that's the king, was caught in their traps. So he tried to escape. Zedekiah tried to make his way out of there, and he couldn't get very far. We thought that under his shadow we would live among the nations. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, you who live in the land of Uz. Remember, Edom celebrated over Judah's fall. We read about that in Jeremiah. His prophecy to Edom did say that at the end of Jeremiah. We read about that in Obadiah too. But to you also the cup will be passed. You will be drunk and stripped naked. O daughter of Zion, your punishment will end. He will not prolong your exile. But, O daughter of Edom, he will punish your sin and expose your wickedness. I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 5 too. This video hasn't gone on very long yet. Chapter 5 is the shortest of the book. Chapter 5 has 22 lines in it as well. There's 22 verses here. But if you'll notice, there's no footnote in chapter 5 telling you this is an acrostic poem like the other 4 chapters are, because it's not. It's just 22 lines. It does not have that, A, B, C, D, or whatever their letters are. Aleph, Beth, Gimel, whatever their letters are. It does not have that structure to it. And that indicates to me that the idea, I think that was done on purpose. I think that was intentional. I think the point the author is communicating here is that by the end of his lament, he's lost his ability to continue focusing his thoughts so deliberately as to write in a controlled or articulated acrostic style. He's as he is dealing with his grief, he has lost that ability to communicate that composedly, that measured, that collected. Remember, O Lord, was again. It doesn't make a difference in the English. You wouldn't be able to notice the difference in the English at all, because we don't. Once you translate out of the original language, like that effect is totally lost. Remember, O Lord, what has happened to us. Look and see our disgrace. Our inheritance has been turned over to aliens, our homes to foreigners. We have become orphans and fatherless, our mothers like widows. We must buy the water we drink. Our wood can only be had at a price. Those who pursue us are at our heels. We are weary and find no rest. We submitted to Egypt and Assyria to get enough bread. Our fathers sinned and are no more, and we bear their punishment. Now we're going to read in Ezekiel that your fathers and sons are each judged for their own sins. This idea that they're being punished for the sins of their fathers isn't totally accurate. And I think Jeremiah, or whoever this author is, probably would have known that. But he's saying that because our fathers sinned, they left us this legacy of evil that we did not reject. We continued in those sins, and thus we had that punishment. They died in their sins, and they didn't experience this punishment in their time. We have continued their sins, and we have experienced this punishment in our time. Slaves rule over us, and there is none to free us from their hands. We get our bread at the risk of our lives because of the sword in the desert. If you go out to get bread, and they'll kill you. Our skin is hot as an oven, feverish from hunger. Women have been ravished in Zion, and virgins in the towns of Judah. Princes have been hung up by their hands. Elders are shown no respect. Young men toil at the millstones. These are slaves. They've been forced into labor here. Boys stagger under loads of wood. The elders are gone from the city gate. The young men have stopped their music. Joy is gone from our hearts. Our dancing has turned to mourning. The crown has fallen from our head. Woe to us, for we have sinned. Because of this, our eyes are faint. Because of these things, our hearts are faint. Because of these things, our eyes grow dim. Means the light is fading from their eyes. For Mount Zion, which lies desolate with jackals, because our eyes grow dim, for Mount Zion, which lies desolate with jackals prowling over it. That's what we call today reclaimed by nature. When humans abandon a building or a town or a settlement, nature will eventually reclaim it. Plants will grow there, animals will move in there. And that's what's happening to the place that was once Jerusalem. You, O Lord, reign. This is a closing message of Lamentations, the end of the book. You, O Lord, reign forever. Your throne endures from generation to generation. Why do you always forget us? Why do you forsake us for so long? Restore us to yourself, O Lord, that we may return. Renew us as in days of old. Unless you have utterly rejected us and are angry with us beyond measure. Well, if the book ended here, if that was it, if the Bible ended there, then that would be the end of the story. Yeah, he was angry with them beyond measure. He did utterly reject them. But there's still quite a bit left to go. This story is not over yet, and this will not be the last word of the story. Morning is coming. There is more to this story. But before we get there, we got to go through Ezekiel, because Ezekiel will be next up on our ticket, and Ezekiel is another prophet who speaks about the upcoming disaster on Jerusalem, but he does so from the perspective of someone who's already in Babylon. Unlike Jeremiah, who was in Jerusalem the whole time, Ezekiel was raised in Judah and in Jerusalem, but was taken in one of the early waves to Babylon, and his entire ministry occurs within Babylon to the people who are already there in Babylon, about what's happening and what's going to happen to Jerusalem. So that's going to be next, Ezekiel.